William, your videographer for the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans, the place where you can learn to fight for your rights. Let's listen in and find out how.
I want to welcome you to the May meeting of the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans Dallas chapter. Thank you for coming. We're going to have a very short meeting today so that we can decorate for the Eddie Bernice Johnson fundraiser. And we're excited that I think we had 9 people that bought tables, 9 or 10. And the last count I heard was 160 people coming. So that's exciting. Gene, do you have any updates on any state or local actions that didn't,
Well, our 2 chapters are functioning and doing well, and the national is pushing CPI, of course. We've been on the radio with this and speaking at every possible opportunity about the changed CPI, which takes a little bit of explaining, unfortunately. But people are upset about it. And if you just tell people that it's going to affect their cost of living allowances, then they are happy to sign the petitions. And I just got a call this morning that the AFL-CIO has 70 to 75 new petitions for us.
Great. That's wonderful.
They were gathered by the Amalgamated Transit Union and dropped off at the AFL-CIO.
Well, I think this is an issue I have found that everyone can agree on, whether they're young or old or employed or unemployed, because at some point Social Security affects everyone. Judy Bryant is tied up in traffic, so when she gets here we'll let her give us her report. We're going to have a short program, and as Gene said, we're going to talk about the chain CPI. A lot of people just, you give them initials and they think that there's too many initials in our world. So I think that I have boiled it down with the help of Mark Vesey and Gene Lance to what I tell people when they ask me what that means. First of all, CPI stands for the Consumer Price Index, and the normal CPI is concerned with working people. There is a CPI concerned with older people, which is called the CPIE, which I rather object to because it means I'm elderly. But the way it was explained to me is there are 2 shopping baskets. And in one, you have the expenses that an ordinary working family would have, which include, of course, groceries and rent or housing and entertainment and child care and those things. In the CPIE, you have the expenses that older people have, which for the most part include their health care, their medicine, their housing, of course, and then if there's any money left, their food. And that is the CPIE. If we are chained, meaning that Social Security would always be hooked up with a CPI, if it's the regular CPI, that involves everyone who is currently or will be on Social Security having their income cut, because of course our expenses on the regular CPI are less. If they use the CPIE, then Social Security benefits will increase. And in the past, the CPI has been used for companies when they were considering getting raises for unions that were negotiating contracts, that kind of thing. I don't believe that was ever meant to, in any way, shape, or form, affect Social Security. But if you can just explain that regular working families have a different set of expenses than seniors. And as you get older, your health care and your prescription costs become so great that most people are either having to move in with someone or live with their families now, and then it comes down to whatever's left is what you buy food with. So does anybody have a question? Is that a simple enough way?
The important thing is that the change CPI is a cut.
Right.
It's a cut
if
in
they
Social
use the
Security
regular
benefits,
CPI.
And it's a cut for anybody who depends on cost of living allowances.
Right.
Which is how most people get their raises.
Right. I did I didn't know if any of you got the email from Tony Padilla. I'm sure that Louis did and Jean did about the resolution that was introduced in the United States Congress in the House in the Senate by Senator Tom Harkin, who's a Democrat from Iowa, and Bernie Sanders, who is an independent from Vermont. It says that the time has come for the United States Senate to send a very loud and clear message to the American people. Sanders said on the Senate floor, "We are not going to balance the budget on the backs of the elderly and disabled veterans. That is morally unacceptable. President Obama's 2014 budget includes a GOP suggestion that Social Security payments be calculated with a chain CPI, which would lower the cost of living estimates for beneficiaries over time." Sanders said he would vigorously oppose the misguided proposal. Harkin said that making any changes to Social Security benefits would send the wrong message to young people. And that's what we need to let everybody understand. It's not just an old person issue. This chain CPI sends the wrong message to young people. It exacerbates the concern of young people that say Social Security won't exist when they retire. Young people need to be able to trust it, and trust it will be there for them. The best way, I'm sorry, I can't read with my glasses on. The best way to ruin that trust for young people is to move to a chained CPI. Harkin said that a chained CPI disproportionately punishes older and poorer people who rely on Social Security payments as their only source of income. It will have real and negative impacts on our seniors and those who become disabled from service in our armed forces. It hurts most of the oldest and the poorest. The alternative way to extend the solvency of Social Security would be to lift the taxable income cap. Currently, annual income of more than $113,000 is not subject to the payroll tax, which funds Social Security. This idea that we need to cut benefits in order to save Social Security is just wrong. There are other ways to do it. Sanders said lifting the cap would make Social Security solvent for 75 years. Now, that's a whole lot different than what we've been told. Are there any questions or comments? Or?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. I just thought that was kind of interesting because it included the reaction of young people to, they already think they can't trust their government. I was going to ask members to report on any actions they had been to. I know we had several that went to immigration marches and some to Walmart. Did you go to the Walmart, the last Walmart?
The Walmart did a leafleting up in North Dallas, but no, I did not go.
Okay.
I got some pictures of it.
Okay.
Last night there was a meeting of the Workers' Defense Project at SMU in celebration of International Workers' Day, and I spoke at that.
Cool. I know May Day is real
I also
important.
sang.
Oh, good. That's always a treat, so they had a good time. Well, I know May Day, although we have come, I think, to think of it as a Russian holiday or a communist holiday. It was a union holiday first, and that's what we need to remember and what we need to teach our young people. I also would like everyone to think about in June, and I'll remind you of this, that we need to have an election of officers for this chapter, and so that we can expand and have more people available to plan and meet and help with actions. We also need to come up with a chained CPI activity in June or July, and I'm sure when Judy gets here that she will explain more about that. That's all I have.
Okay, sounds good. Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, third. We won't give Judy a shot. Okay.
That's it.
This is William, your videographer for the Texas Alliance for Retired Americans. Thank you for watching our video, and please stay tuned for more.